the moon with Tony.
My name is Toni Williams, and tonight we're going to be talking about, are you dating a narcissist? For some who don't know me, I am a counselor, I am a motivational speaker, I am a relationship coach, as well as an educator. And it's very dear to me with all of the different people that I encounter, and as I travel for public speaking prior to COVID, about different women, especially who deal with so many ups and downs that come with relationships. And so I want to talk to you guys this evening about, are you dating a narcissist? Because a narcissistic relationship can be a very draining and love bombing relationship. Have you ever took the time to ever notice some of the signs if you have encountered a person who may be a narcissist? A narcissist cannot love you back. They are extremely in a self-centered person who is exaggerated by a sense of self-importance. They can be manipulative and they will have no sense of empathy. Let me say that again. A narcissist cannot love you back. They are extremely a self-centered person who has exaggerated sense of self-importance. They can be manipulative and will have no sense of empathy. And so when you are encountering, and some of you may be already, and you know that you're with someone who may be on the spectrum, because this is a mental health disorder. They may be on the spectrum. They may be a full-blown narcissist. I don't know if anybody, if your person that you're with has ever seen, and most narcissists probably won't even admit that they are narcissists. But I want to talk about some of the signs that you may actually see with their behavior. um, a lot of times when a relationship first starts off with a person who is a narcissist, they can be very charming. They can be very giving in a lot of different ways. They may bombard you with gifts. They may text you quite a bit. They may call you a lot as well. And when they are in this stage, you take it as that person really cares for you. They are into you, and this feels good at the beginning of the relationship. It does. It's a new fulfilling relationship. But some of us have been in relationships for periods of time, and we can see that uh, some things of it started to has changed. They may not do some of the same signs that they used to, and now they want a lot of, yes, your attention. A lot of times they may hog the conversation, talking about how great of a person they are. And in the beginning, that sounds, all good because we're in the dating, which I always say dating equals data, because in the dating stages, we're trying to gather the data amongst a male and a female of whether we are compatible, whether I'm interested in getting a little bit deeper in the relationship. But as time goes on, and you've been dating this person for a while, and maybe you even been with them for years, it becomes all about them and their accomplishments. And even when you're sharing your accomplishments, they can almost feed off of your accomplishments because their accomplishments are always going to be better than yours. They're always going to be doing something more. And whenever you're entering conversations with them, they constantly talk about themselves. They have to have a feeling of self importance. And in return, they are looking for you to constantly praise them. They feed off of being praised by you being the person that, as of right now, they may have chosen to somewhat be in a relationship with. They do lack a level of empathy. When you're telling them you're going through something or you're dealing with something, they are not very empathetic to your feelings and how you're dealing with what you're going through. And so this narcissist behavior will show because you're constantly changing and evolving to be there for them in support. And in return, they are not as empathetic to when you're dealing with stuff. They're going to always say, well, if you got to pay this bill, imagine what if you had to pay this amount. They're always going to up whatever you're saying and take it to another level. So that's something to definitely look at if you think that you may be in a relationship with a narcissist. Is let's look at the signs. Some narcissists may not have a lot of friends. If you're talking with them and as you get to know them, and this is at no age, whether you're in your 20s, your 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, if you are a narcissist, it's there unless someone is trying to seek help to be able to change some things up. But they may not have many long term friends. And the friends that they may call themselves having, they see themselves better than the friends that they're hanging. So it gives them that feeling of self importance. And when they're having a conversation amongst the few or so called, say, the friends that they said they have, it always makes them feel good that they are doing what they call better than them. So they find themselves always feel like they are encouraging or giving some clear direction to them to help them out of a situation when it's more about it's an accomplishment for them because they feel that they are better than the ones that they are with. And this doesn't change just because it was stated in, and you're seeing it in the beginning part of the relationship and you take it as, some things I'm just trying to get to know him, I think it's going to be okay. And this goes for women too, because we do have women who has narcissistic behaviors as well. But it does not change. And if you're in a relationship, you will find yourself going in circles trying to be as what they want. You find that you're changing your goals, trying to make them happy. They want your attention all the time. They want you available when they are available. It's all about them every time that you guys are together. Some narcissists will pick on a person constantly. They call it that they're playing with you, but they really are downing you, from the clothes that you wear to the, how you wear your hair to what you eat to what you look like. They say, I love you, baby. I'm just playing. But that's their way that it still can be offensive to you and it can also hurt you. This is an interesting term, and we talk about gaslighting, and sometimes you definitely have the narcissist who will gaslight you. They do a lot of the manipulation of emotional abuse. Um, that's what their traits are. They will falsely accuse you and others a lot of time of the truth. A lot of times they'll say, you've been out there with somebody and you haven't, and so, but they constantly, because that may be, yes, they could be doing something. But they will do certain things to emotionally abuse you, and you find yourself feeling very drained by it. You find yourself as a woman, you may find yourself alone crying, maybe being depressed because it seems like no matter what you do, it is never good enough to fit the narcissist personality. So you're always trying to jump through hoops in order to satisfy them and to also make them as happy or what you anticipate what that might make them happy. In addition, they dance around, and this is one that I get hit with a lot with different females and some of the women that I counsel. They won't really define the relationship. And this is a big one. They're dancing around. You're telling them we've been in this relationship. for a certain amount of time. You're trying to find out, are we really steady? Or it may be the fact that we've been in this relationship for quite some time. Are we going to get married? And they dance around and try not to address that. And that's a big one for most women when it comes to them doing that, because as women, from the time that we are young females growing up, we dream about, we fantasize, that wedding day, what a relationship we're looking for, our prince charming, our king. We're looking for that man that we can. And men, you're looking for a female, but in a lot of terms, you don't start off with, from the time that we are very young. A lot of times, what's a gift that you give a little girl? You give her a baby doll, you put it in her hand. We're already teaching our young, from babies, basically from the time that they come out of the womb, we are already teaching them how to prepare for a home, how to prepare for motherhood, how to prepare to basically be married. All of the things that we get we get our girls, kitchen sets. We get them an ironing board and an iron. But from the time our young girls are born and they come out the womb, we are already preparing. Boys are not being prepared in the same way as females are. And so for a female, we're thinking once we get in a relationship, we are looking for hopefully long term. We're looking for longevity to be with a man in a relationship. And when a man is dancing around and not defining the relationship, it gets to be very draining on the female, about, what are we doing? And then we start to look at it where we feel that, I love this person. I'm hoping that they'll change. And the more that we talk to the man about how we're feeling, they look as if what we're saying is not as important to them. They are not very empathetic about our feelings, nor is the man who may be a narcissist. He may not even be trying to change. He's not going to change. It's the fact that he's always going to tell you that you're crazy. You're thinking the wrong thought. I love you. We're going to get married someday. When his intentions is not to marry you, it is more for manipulation to keep you around because you are benefiting him in some way. Most narcissists love to have people attached to them who actually make them look good. Let me say that again. A lot of narcissists will keep a young lady, a woman attached to them who makes them look good. You may be very nice on the eyes. It may be the fact that you're educated. It may be the fact of who your family is, but they're looking for a status that they feel makes them look good and embellishes somewhat of where they're trying to go in their accomplishment. So that's a big piece. And you have to look at this. Is the person committing to me? Am I spending too much time in this trying to see if the person who is a narcissist is going to change? And very likely, I can tell you, it's slim to none. Research shows that that is not a person who's going to change unless they're actually truly willing to seek therapy to change their behavior. The thing about the narcissist, they always feel that they're right. You are never going to be right. Whether you're, the male or the female in the relationship, if you're with the narcissist, they will always be right. They always know more. They always definitely is going to have the last word as for that they were right and you're wrong. It's never a conversation of really us, having straight communication, because in their mind, they are always right. They are never going to be wrong at all. And you have to decide, is this too much for me? Is this something that I can spend the rest of my life with? Is if I'm going to be spinning in circles. And even if I do marry the narcissist, can I still deal with? Because if they didn't change before the marriage, I tell people that all the time. If you're not changing your ways before the marriage, they're not, nobody's going to change their ways after the marriage. Dating allows men and women to get a taste of who you will be. Who you will be. That's exactly what dating is. And I'll say it again, dating equals data. Dating equals data. And in that time frame of dating, it is your role is to gather the data to see if this is the person that I want to spend more time with in the dating process, or is it the person that I could see myself spending the rest of my life with? But if you're going to be in a relationship with a narcissist, it is definitely going to be a lot of work, and it can be draining because the narcissist is always about him or herself. They're always going to be making sure that they are. And for them to love, they're never going to be satisfied. They're never going to be, satisfied. They will definitely pursue, and I've seen it happen where they will pursue you through all of the texts and doing this and doing that. And a lot of times, once you get to a place of now deciding to be there, where they done kind of broke you down, where they done figured out. And a lot of times with women, I say this on every platform and any conference that I went to, we as women have told men the character to play in our lives. We give so much information up in the early part of dating. They know so much, and sometimes we don't know as much about them. And so in that process of dating, by giving so much information up, the men take on a character because you've already told them, well, this was my problem in my previous relationship, and I went through this, and I'm hurting from this, and I'm wounded from this. So they kind of know what to do to woo you in that place. And so by being wooed in, now you're saying, oh my gosh, this is a great person. I've never thought that I would ever experience. But some of that is manipulation of bringing you in. And now you find yourself, and some narcissists will tell you that they've had some bad experiences in their childhood. They went through some trauma. They went through this. They went through that. And that could be very true. But in that, they're looking for you still to be of great support. They're looking for you. They're playing the violin on you to make sure that you'll stay around and you'll deal with whatever they're throwing out at you. And you, again, as a queen, and I say we're in this sisterhood together. And so many women that I counsel with and speak with, you're broken. You've been through some things. And so to stay in a relationship where you may be with a narcissist, you have to know that this can be a very draining relationship. And here tonight, I'm just wanting to give you in this time frame some of the signs that you may see when it comes to dealing with a narcissist. And again, I'll go over them. Again, they could be charming at first. They may hog a lot of the conversation, talking about how great they are. They exaggerate, and sometimes they even embellish about their talents and their accomplishments. Sometimes they feed off of your some of your accomplishments. So a lot of times of what you're saying that you've accomplished and what you did, they're always going to be one up to say that they're better than what you may say. They lack empathy. So no matter how much you continue to talk about, exactly, what you're going through and what you're feeling, they lack empathy to connect with that. They may not have a lot of long-term friends. And if they do have friends around, the majority of the time, they are probably feeling that they are more, they are definitely one up over their friends because their lives is going better. They're doing better in their career, and they feel that they're the one to give advice to their friends who may not be doing as well. So they kind of tend to put themselves around people who they might feel are doing less than them so that they can feel that level of accomplishment to be above. Um, Again, they may gaslight you And when they gaslight you, they're emotionally abusing you. They're saying things to you where they may say, "I'm just playing with you," but they're kind of putting you down about what you wear, what your hair may look like, what you look like. Nobody's ever gonna want you. If we break up, don't nobody want you. They may say things like that to keep you emotionally connected, but also trying to keep you down. And it's part of the manipulation that the narcissist will do, always to make themselves feel important, or to feel, that they are above you. And we talked about the biggest one. They dance around the relationship of commitment. They always have an excuse. Girl, we working on that. Well, we gonna get married. I love you. When the intention is never to get married. It is to string you along for as long as they can string you along. And the reason they may have considered to even connect with you to say that they are in the relationship uh, might be because, again, of who you are as a person. It may be because of what you look, and they want a nice looking woman on their arm. Or it could be the fact that you're highly educated and they feel like you're going to make them look good if they are able to say, "This is who I'm with." It could be family status. But with a narcissist, they always are thinking about themselves and what's going to make them look better. But it's not so much about, you're there with them, but they lack empathy. And when they lack empathy, they're not going to show, you that level of respect to empathize when you're going through, because they expect when they're going through, you should be always, there for them in support. And they want you to praise them constantly. And it doesn't change, because the conversation is always going to be about them and their accomplishments. So, queens, you have to decide, is this the type of person that you can maintain in a relationship for a long period, of time? And if you are going to be in a relationship with a narcissist, you have to know what the signs are and what are some things that you may see or some things that you may expect, because it can be one of those yo-yo relationships where you're going in circles back and forth, due to that they kind of, throw things at you to make you feel guilty at times. They're always threatening that, they're going to break up with you, those types of things. And then definitely, if you've already gotten deeper in the relationship and you have engaged in sexual relations with them, now you have built that soul tie. And having that soul tie will make it even harder for you if you choose to walk away from the relationship. And so I encourage women, always use dating as a time to gather the data. Just because a man took you out to get a steak dinner does not mean that you owe him the to be in the bed with him. Steak doesn't equal sex. So, soul food or seafood does not equal sex. And so, again, dating is a time to gather the data and to definitely see if this is where you need to be. I want to read the scripture that will kind of tie this in. I'm just going to take a couple of more minutes, but I want to look at the book of Timothy, and we're going to look at chapter 3. And I want to read verses 1 through 6. 2 Timothy chapter 3, verses 1 through 6. And I'm reading out of the Message Bible, and this will bring it all into what I've been talking about this evening. Don't be naive. There are difficult times ahead. Um, as the end approaches, people are going to be self-absorbed, money hungry, self-promoting, stuck up, profane, contemptuous appearance, crude, coarse, dog eat dog, unbending, slanderers, impulsive, wild savage, cynical, treacherous, ruthless, bloated windbags, addicted to lust, and allergic to God. They'll make a show of religion, but behind the scenes, they're animals. Stay clear of these people. These are the kind of people who smooth talk themselves into homes of unstable and needy women and take advantage of them. So here clear in Second Timothy, he's speaking, Timothy, and he's telling us, Stay away of these people, because in the last days, this is what's going to be upon us. And if he finds, and a narcissist could find a woman who has her guard down, she could be depressed, she could be in a place. He will come in and act like he is the hero and fast talk her in a way, and all doing all of this texting and phone calling to lure her in. That's the goal, to lure her in, that he can make her, feel better, and he can be there, and he's better than any other man. But it is part of the manipulation, it is part of the game. And as queens, we have to seek God every day and go to him, so that our discerning spirit can discern when not just a narcissist, but any man is coming up against us who do not have great intentions for us. We should never have to stoop down and package our vision, our plans into someone who doesn't have a lot of goals, who's all about themselves. Because coming together in a relationship, and if you move forward from that to get married, the man is the head. The woman, you're the neck, you're of great support. But if he can't value you before the marriage, you know he's not going to value you in the marriage. And so, queens, we've got to rise up and recognize and know our worth and our place when it comes to the kingdom of God. I just wanted to share this little bit with you this evening. Again, we were talking about, are you dating a narcissist? And dating a narcissist is a love bombing relationship. God bless and have a great evening.
We're on the move.